Roll it. Welcome back to another video. My name is Nikos. This is mentorsapproach.com, where we strive to make a video each and every week to get you thinking and moving in the right direction. So hit subscribe. Today, we are looking at this idea of how to understand the thought process, the mindset that we need when we're looking at the whole picture of online marketing. The idea of ads, the idea of how do I get a good return on investment? Before we start to jump into this whole thought process of what equipment do we need and all this stuff to do stuff online, let's look at the idea behind it, because a lot of people miss this and then they spend a lot of money and all of a sudden they're like, I'm not getting a return on investment. The best examples of this is all the people I've been meeting over the last like 3-4 months that are like, I spent a lot of money on Facebook ads and it didn't work, from $3,000 to $20,000. And they're like, man, it didn't work. Other people have spent like 100 or 200 and they thought they were going to do something with that. But imagine spending 20 grand. Now let's really look at this idea. People aren't going in there making a plan. They're not going in there saying, this is how I'm going to roll out this process in order to see a return on investment. They're not creating the opportunity for that to happen. And this is a big, big dilemma for many people, because they'll just jump in and then they'll say, oh, it doesn't work, and they'll jump out and then they'll just sit there. So let's take a step back. If you're looking at going online, the question becomes, what is it that you're actually trying to achieve? That's your first, number one goal that you need to really address. You got to look at it in terms of what is it that is going to drive somebody from that video that you're going to have, or that image, or whatever ad that you're running. How is it going to drive somebody to your website and then from that website buy something? Okay? And this is where a lot of work has to come in. Now, I'm going to walk you through a general mindset process here. That goal has to be some kind of value that makes sense to you as an individual investing money into something. There are different values that people have when they go online to get a return on investment. Let me give you an example. I know people that spend 20, 30, 40,000. The highest I've seen is 50, okay, in the coaching space, so they can make $150,000 every month. I know other people that are spending 5 grand so they can have 150,000 a month. Different model, different mindset. We need to step back and look at your business model. We got to understand, what are you selling? How does that look? And how does it fit within the narrative of the online in order to get that nice return on investment that you're looking for? It is all subjective, all of it. See, when somebody is spending a lot of money up front, they're expecting that return on investment to come in, not just at one time, but a residual down the road. So yes, I spent it now, but after a while, that person that originally saw this, I have them hooked in my system, and eventually I'll get them. And there's different types of thought processes on that. Now, a lot of people don't want to spend a lot of time on this. So your mindset really needs to come into the goal orientation of, what will this achieve? If I spend $1, $2, $3, what will that get me? So for every dollar, what should I get in return? And how does that look? Once we have that established and we understand, hey, other people in our industry is doing it, we go research. What are other people doing? This is your step 2. Go figure out, what are other people doing? How are they managing to run ads all the time and return an investment on it? There are people out there in every industry that are doing the same thing you're doing. Without a doubt. Even if you have one of these companies where you're like, nobody has a company like mine, find the nearest competitor or something similar and ask yourself, what are they actually doing? What do you actually need in order to do that? From there, you're going to find a pattern reveal itself, where you're going to see all these different business models that people have and how their marketing and their advertising strategies relate to that business model. And you're going to start to see a pattern emerge even further, where it relates back to your structured approach. These are 2 critical steps, and people often miss these. So when they come to us and they're like, well, I want to go online, I'm like, I got to sit down and figure this out if you haven't figured it out. And they're like, well, I thought you knew about this. Well, I do, and I'm going to sit down and figure it out specific for you. This is the stuff you need to be doing. If you're not going to be doing it, you got to pay somebody to do it, which is step 3. Okay? Double down on the detail. What is the plan that you're going to take? What are the action steps? How does this really look? What are the things you need to do? We're talking to individuals and they're like, well, don't you just make a video? No research. Automatically, I know from the words, the language they use, they have done no research. They haven't even opened up Facebook to look at what people are doing. They haven't even clicked on the ads to understand where it's taking them. They don't even know that they need landing pages. There's a whole system that we got to look at that exists for each ad structure. So this is the things that we got to look at, and we need to understand this. This is a detailed approach. If you can't do it, pay somebody. Find somebody who does this. And once you get this process going, this now becomes easy because you're going to realize, hey, what do I really want to do? Now we can start making lists of things that we can do and things we can't do and things that we want to do down the road. And this is where we start to look at, what do we actually need? Do we want to make our own videos? Do we want to make our own images and our own ads? Or do we want to pay somebody? We have people we're working with that are like, which camera do I buy? I want to buy one. I want to do everything by myself. And there's other people that are like, I don't have time for this. Because now we're starting to jump back into that idea of time, energy, and money. Once you get to a point where time, energy, money is being wasted, not invested in this process, now we know we got to step back and bring somebody on board, whether it's contracting somebody in or hiring somebody that knows their stuff. Do not go to somebody that doesn't know their stuff and can't figure out and explain to you everything to the T, so you know how you're going to make sure that you're being profitable in that investment you're making. These are all critical steps. I can't stress this enough. When I look at people, the big thing that I notice is that everybody looks online and they go, how is that person doing it? Why am I not doing it? And then they try, but they don't realize that everything's going to take 10 times longer. You're not going to be able to pick up this camera and just go shoot a video, a commercial, an ad. It's going to take time to learn this. It's going to take time to figure out what you're going to be doing, how you're going to be doing it as you release these ads, and how you're going to close the sale. All of these take time. What I'm trying to explain is the mindset you need to put yourself in so you don't get frustrated, you don't get angry, and don't just like try something and give up. Like all those people that have spent so much money on ads and then nothing comes out of it. Yes, Facebook works. Yes, LinkedIn works. Everything works for the niche that you're going for. You need to research that and figure out exactly step-by-step approach of what's going to work for you. Now, I don't recommend you go do stuff without researching it. That's for sure. I don't recommend you go just pick somebody to start working on stuff. That's for sure. What I recommend is to go and do some research on what is occurring out there. What I recommend is that you go and you find and you interview 2-3 people that know their stuff about this planning, about what they can do, and create a structured approach with you so that you know exactly what you can do. When we create plans, it's amazing. The people come to us and they go, well, how much is it going to cost to make this video? How much is it going to cost to run these ads with this video? And it's like, well, do you have a plan for this? I need to sit down and figure out what exactly you need. We have people that come up to us and they're like, well, I want a 3-minute video explaining what we do. We don't do 3-minute videos for your industry because of this, this, and this. And they look at me and they go, what? What do you mean? Well, this is what this industry does. This is what we're seeing. Would you like us to research it to see if this makes sense for your company specifically? But I'm not going to go waste your money because you're going to come back and complain to me that this video isn't making you any money. And for that, I know off the bat, certain industries, I won't make long videos. And they look at me and they go, well, Joe down the street will do it for me. God bless, please go. But I guarantee you, it's not going to be what you need. But we need to do the research for it. So we do create plans for people. And when we create the plans, we go, hey, here's the plan that we've researched. This is the plan that you paid us to research. Now, do you want us to do all the work, or do you want to go find somebody else? Either more expensive, more cheaper, same prices. It doesn't really matter. I'm creating that plan. Go get it verified by other people. Maybe they'll have other ideas for you. I don't know. Maybe they'll do something else on top of everything we're recommending. But now we're creating a plan specific, tailored to you so that you can move forward. And this is something that we've discovered was a necessity because of that last scenario where I always had people going, I want this. And I realized they weren't researching. They didn't actually know. They just saw somebody else doing something and they thought, let me go do something too like that. And it never works that way. And it's not in the best interest of the customer. But this is what we see time and time again. And until you figure out the people you're going to be going and hiring, that they're knowledgeable in your industry specific, you're going to be in a situation where you're going to be stuck, where you're going to be spending money, not investing it. And then your time, energy, money is going down the drain instead of seeing a good return on that investment. My name is Nikos Rentas. This is mentorsapproach.com. Hit that like button if you like what you see. Of course, hit the subscribe button. Leave a comment below. Leave your story. Have you been in this situation? Did you invest a lot of money into something, felt like spent it, didn't get really anything in return? What'd you do after? Because who knows, somebody might be watching this and they might relate to your comment. Who knows, you might help change a life.